All right, I am in the very small town of Blagaj, and I'm going to the Blagaj Tekke, the Sufi monastery. All this stuff I'm sure is open in the summer when it's just packed with tourists. I'll take you through the town after the monastery and then climbing up to the fortress. But I just arrived on the bus, about a 30-minute bus ride from Mostar. Getting closer to the Tekke, and again, everything is just closed. And I have to tell you, I really prefer it this way. I'm not a shopper. I don't care about buying things when I'm traveling. So the fact that I come here off season when there are less tourists, because I'm telling you, this place is just packed to the gills in the summertime with people. And for me, that's uncomfortable. I like to have a little space, you know, a little personal space when I'm visiting sites and walking around and hiking. And so it's interesting to imagine how lively this place is in the summertime, but I am relieved that I get to enjoy it when it's quiet and I can hear the river and the birds and enjoy some solitude. Crossing the river now before I go into the Tekke. There it is, near the entrance to the caves. I'm going to get some photos on this side of the river before I enter. So we're coming up on the spectacular viewpoint from across the river. There's a little bit of sunlight. You don't get to see the amazing blue color of the water that you get to enjoy when the sun is shining. But it's still pretty spectacular. Apparently, it doesn't pertain to only those living in glass houses. Ooh, such a bad joke. Look at this, huh? This is Blagaj Tekke, a Sufi monastery. I will have to post information on the screen about what year this was built because I don't know off the top of my head. Look at this, built right into this gorgeous rock. It just goes up and up and up and up and up forever. That's pretty much the photo op that you see all over the internet, right there. There are many, many places you can stand and get a photo op all along this side of the river. Absolutely gorgeous. So again, in the summertime, this place would be packed with tourists. They'd be sitting all along that wall, dining in the restaurant, and right there at the edge of the waterfalls. And you would not be able to get such a pristine photograph as you can get now. And believe me, everybody is taking photos. So quiet. I'm heading up to the fortress, which is right there. You see it? That is where I am headed. Should get there in about 15 minutes. You will not believe what we gotta climb. Look at that. Oh my God. Straight up to get to this fortress. That is nothing but slippery gravel at a very steep incline. Wow. Wowza, wowza. All right, let's go. Okay, that was nuts. it's leveled off a little bit here, but that was a straight shot down. And nowhere in anything that I saw about this fortress did it mention such a steep and rocky ascent. I mean, you had to be on all fours. You had to use your arms also to just support yourself and stabilize yourself on the rocks coming up. And then I get up here and look what I see. Thank God, because I think getting down that trail would have been really dangerous. This looks like a longer but easier descent, because that is crazy. There's like a freeway over there. Well, freeway is probably a big word, but I saw 18-wheelers on that ridge road there around that mountain. And here we are, though, to the entrance of the fortress after I climbed up that ridiculous climb. And I find this, which I'm grateful for, because that was so crazy. I mean, you're basically walking, mostly it wasn't slippery gravel. You know, these rocks that jut out, you know, you could get a foothold on those in your hiking boots, and then also use your hands, you know, to grip edges of the rock. So it wasn't so precarious coming up, but going down, that would have been really hard, because you'd have to go down backwards if you're going to go down using your hands. So I thought, okay, I'm going to find myself another route down when I get up to this thing, and there it was, right there. Anyway, this fortress looks amazing. Compared to the fortress on top of the Sun Pyramid in Visoko, I mean, this is really intact. That fortress was basically just a few low walls. This is like, look at it. It's in great condition. Great for exploring. So according to the sign at the entrance, this fort is believed to have been built in the early 1400s. The palace was the main building, the main primary structure in this space. There's also a big cistern. Later they added a mosque. Wow. Not sure yet which one is the palace. Actually, makes me think it's this one based on the map, but I'm not sure. Okay, but this is a little too much. I mean, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the fort. The fort's fantastic. Wait till you see the flags waving. This is just a little over the top, and in my opinion, inappropriate. So we are now coming up here, right, to the top of the fort. And somebody put, with the Bosnian flag, although it's not actually the Bosnian flag, that might be the flag of the region or of the city. But then they have a Palestinian flag. Seriously? I mean, I think that's ridiculous. Whether you support Palestinian state or not, this is Bosnia. So waving a flag of some other pseudo country at this point, not a country, but a political entity basically, that's really inappropriate. So there's that freeway I mentioned. And there you can see the trucks traveling on it. Fantastic fort, and this is like the perfect spot for me to eat lunch. I would love to be able to look down and see the Tekke below me. I'm gonna have to do a little reconnaissance, see what side that might be on. It's either behind me or to the right. So, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But the fort itself is awesome. Down there, behind this stone, around the corner, is the Tekke. Because that is the bridge I crossed, and the restaurant that is across from the Tekke, so just behind this big slab of stony mountain. And I am just exploring every nook and cranny. There are 2 cisterns. There's a huge one, a smaller. And again, not sure. Let's see, based on where I came in, this I believe is the palace, where the palace was. Which makes sense because of the view that it would have afforded. So there you go. The Blagaj Fortress is worth the hike. Yeah, just don't forget about the easier path. Challenge yourself, people. Challenge yourself. And there is the van at the bottom of that steep climb. Just for perspective, do you see that line? That is what I climbed up. That is what I climbed up. There's the bottom. Straight up that crazy, crazy ass line. You see the angle. Up to the top of this beast. And here's the trail. That close to me. Now, see, if other people were here and had been walking on it, I would have seen some people. Comical, comical. Can you imagine if you were actually on this trail and you looked over and you saw me, crazy me, climbing that straight up gravel path? Could you call it a path? Just climbing straight up the mountain like that. How insane. Really comical. I mean, I'm glad I did it now. I feel like it was a big challenge, you know? Funny, I actually just passed 2 people. They're the only 2 people I've seen. I had the fort to myself, as you saw. There are a couple vehicles parked down here, but haven't seen anybody else except for those two hikers that I just passed. And I'm almost to the street that takes me back to the Tekke, so that I can go inside the Tekke, because when I was there earlier taking the video, a group of about 70 tourists came through, and I did not want to go in this holy site with 70 strangers. So I decided to tackle the fortress first and return to the Tekke. So that is where we're headed. What we got here? Got a herd of goats. Aren't they beautiful? Blagaj Tekke, the dervish house. The dervish house was built in the early 15th century by dervishes with the following message: love creatures for the sake of Creator. I will need to put on a scarf over my head and also around my waist, since I'm not wearing a skirt. And they do provide the scarves. something I'm really curious about is, what is this? It's actually beautiful if you take the whole thing together. There are all these little pools surrounded by stone, some sort of abandoned building there. I'll show you the other side in a minute because it's gorgeous. That little riverway, but it's like some sort of pools. They're like pools, like I was going to say some sort of water treatment or something. There's a weird kind of scarecrow. Let me show you. See it? There's like this weird headless scarecrow dressed up in someone's shirt and pants, tied to a light pole. I don't know what this is. And then that just looks like this gorgeous property. And their yard kind of runs up to this really pretty, overgrown set of pools. Look at this gorgeous stone roof, like a kind of a slate stone roof. That is beautiful. I'll show you the other side because it's even more mind-blowing. Look at this. It is so tranquil. All you hear is the sound of the water. You're surrounded by this incredible beauty. I mean, look at this beautiful home right on the banks of the river, surrounded by this overgrown fantasy of a property. This is a paradise. Give you a little taste of Blagaj. That is the bus stop. I will be catching the bus back to Mostar in about 45 minutes. There are not a lot of buses that are doing this journey during the course of the day. I think this is about it. It's a small little town. In a beautiful, beautiful setting. So get a chance, come to Blagaj. It's a really easy day trip from Mostar with public buses. Get you here in a half an hour.